The Mirror Maker's Choice. A story about becoming who you're meant to be. There was a mirror maker named David who crafted the most perfect mirrors in the region. For 20 years, people traveled to his workshop to see their reflections in his flawless creations. But David had a secret. He had never looked into any of the mirrors he made. Not once in 20 years. On January 1st, 2026, a young woman named Maya entered his workshop. "I need a mirror," she said, exhausted from traveling 3 days to reach him. "But not just any mirror. I need one that shows me who I can become, not just who I am." David looked up from his work. "Mirrors don't work that way. They only show what is." Maya sat down heavily. "Then maybe I came to the wrong place. I'm 30 years old, and I've spent my entire life becoming what everyone else expected. I don't even know who I am anymore." Something in her words struck David deeply. He set down his tools and walked to the back of his workshop, where a covered mirror stood, the first mirror he ever made, hidden away for 2 decades. "I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone," he said quietly. "Before I became a mirror maker, I wanted to be a sculptor. I dreamed of creating art that moved people. But everyone said it was impractical, risky, so I chose this instead. It was safe, profitable, respected." He touched the covered mirror. "I made this 20 years ago and covered it the same day, because every time I looked at it, I saw someone who had given up on his dreams. Someone who was becoming smaller every single day." Maya stood beside him. "But you're a master craftsman now. Respect isn't the same as fulfillment," David said. "I spent 20 years becoming very good at something I never wanted to do. And the worst part, I got so comfortable in my compromise that I forgot I had made one." "So why did you cover the mirror?" Maya asked. "Because I was afraid," David admitted. "Afraid to see who I was becoming. Afraid to face what I had given up." Maya looked at him. "My grandmother told me something before she died. She said, 'The person you're meant to become is already inside you. You just need the courage to look.'" They stood in silence, the covered mirror between them. Finally, Maya spoke. "You know what I think. We don't fear failure. We fear discovering we're capable of more than we've allowed ourselves to become. Because then we can't make excuses anymore. We have to choose." David's hands trembled as he reached for the cloth. "What if I look and realize I've wasted 20 years? What if you look and realize you still have 30 years to become who you meant to be?" Maya replied. David pulled away the cloth. For the first time in 20 years, he looked at his own reflection. He saw a 50-year-old man with gray hair and lined face. But he also saw someone who still had strength, still had fire in his eyes, still had hands that knew how to create. "I'm not too old," he whispered. "I'm just too scared." Maya smiled. "Now you're seeing clearly." David turned to her. "You don't need a special mirror. The person you're meant to become isn't in some future reflection. She's standing here right now, waiting for you to choose her." He walked to his workbench and began sketching. Not a mirror, but a sculpture. His first in 20 years. His hands shook, but they moved with certainty. "What are you doing?" Maya asked. "I'm making a choice," David said. "For 20 years, I've been becoming the wrong version of myself. Every day, that wrong version became more comfortable, more familiar. But I just realized something. The life I'm living isn't a prison. It's just a habit, and habits can be broken." He looked at Maya. "You traveled 3 days for a mirror, but you don't need a mirror. You need a decision. Who do you want to become?" Maya thought for a moment. "I want to be a teacher. I want to help children discover who they are before the world tells them who they should be." "Then teach," David said simply. "Start today, not when you're ready, not when it's perfect. Today. Because the fear of trying is nothing compared to the regret of never knowing." Maya left that afternoon without a mirror, but with something better, a decision. She would go back and start teaching, imperfectly but truly. David watched her leave, then looked at his rough sketch. It was amateur, clumsy, but it was alive in a way his perfect mirrors never were. That evening, as the sun set on the first day of 2026, David put away his mirror-making tools and pulled out clay. His first sculpture was awkward, but for the first time in 2 decades, he felt like himself. 6 months later, Maya returned. She found David surrounded by sculptures and happier than success had ever made him. "You're sculpting," she said. "I'm becoming," he replied. "There's a difference." She showed him a photo of 20 children in the classroom she had created. "I'm teaching. It's messy, and I make mistakes every day. But I've never felt more alive." David nodded. "That's because you're becoming who you were meant to be. And that will always feel more alive than being who you were told to be." The lesson for 2026: you are standing at the mirror right now, and you have a choice. Who are you becoming? Every action you take is a vote for the version of yourself you're creating. Are you becoming the person you're meant to be, or the person everyone expects you to be? David spent 20 years becoming the wrong version of himself. He was successful at it, respected for it, but it was still wrong because it wasn't true. That's the danger of compromise. It disguises itself as practicality, as responsibility, and slowly, you become someone you never intended to be. But here's what David discovered on January 1st. It's never too late to become who you're meant to be. Not because age doesn't matter, but because the alternative is spending the rest of your life as the wrong version of yourself. So answer this question with brutal honesty. If you keep making the same choices you made last year, who will you be on December 31st, 2026? Will you be closer to your true self? Or will you be one more year deep into becoming someone you never wanted to be? Maya didn't need a magic mirror. She just needed the courage to choose. And the moment she chose, everything changed. Not because the path became easy, but because it became true. Transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about having the courage to become who you've always been, underneath all the expectations, all the fear. So here's your challenge for 2026. Stop becoming who you think you should be, and start becoming who you know you are. Stop waiting for permission, for perfect conditions, for the right moment. Start today. Start messy. Start scared. But start true. Because the world doesn't need another person who's really good at being someone they're not. The world needs you brave enough to be exactly who you are. In 20 years, you'll either look back at 2026 as the year you finally chose yourself, or as another year you spent becoming the wrong version. The mirror is in front of you. What will you choose to become? Your time starts now. If you love our content, please like, share, subscribe, Motivational Tales, and let's grow together in 2026.